And Egypt have done it. What a massive, massive, massive win where no one expected them. Everyone had ruled them out. Everyone said that they weren't going to beat this Ivory Coast. That this is the year where their curse is going to be broken. This is the year that Ivory Coast will finally beat Egypt. Ivory Coast, where you've got Amad Diallo, you've got Diomande. They're going to absolutely knock out, dominate this Egyptian team. But no. 3-2 win, and what a win it was, and what a performance it was. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about that last 15 minutes where I'm not even an Egyptian, but I was so tense. I was feeling, I was scared, I was worried. But listen, we'll talk about the whole game, the first half, the second half, the player performances, what this win does, and of course, the rest of the tournament. Before we go any further, make sure you like the video right now. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. And of course, comment your own thoughts, my lovely, lovely Egyptian fans, my lovely subscribers. Put down in the comment section what you guys make of the game. Listen, before the game even started, let's be real, let's be honest, myself included, I never had Egypt going through. I think if you went and saw this stacked quarterfinal lineup, like this quarterfinals, it was stacked with so many great matchups and so many great teams. And this is the first time, from what I can remember, we've seen arguably the 8 best teams in Africa all going through, if you considered Mali and Tunisia. But anyway, you saw what happened already in the last 3 games. Morocco, they beat Cameroon, the favorites. Senegal, they beat Mali, the favorites. Then you had earlier Nigeria beat Algeria. Again, based on this tournament, the favorites. And then you had this game where Egypt, after what happened last game, a lot of question marks was made about them, whether they're lucky, whether they're fortunate, and what it does facing a team like Ivory Coast, who throughout this whole tournament, they've been convincing as hell, especially the front line, the Diomande and Amad Diallo. And before the game started, everyone had, the Egyptian back line is not the best, and Amad Diallo and Kessie progressing and crashing the box, and of course, Diomande, they're going to do bits. And the game started already with Marmoush. Exceptional Marmoush. Great finish, 1-0 against all the odds. But if you looked at that first 30 minutes, Ivory Coast weren't the better team. It was all Egypt. The Egyptian team was the better team. They actually started to create more. They wanted the second. They wanted the third. And guess what? They got that second. And Mohamed Salah with an exceptional delivery, exceptional corner for Rabia, who, the header is sensational. The header, you can argue the goalkeeper could have done a little bit better because he didn't really time it well, but the header was sensational. And at 2-0 down with 30 minutes to go, Egypt was the better team. They were the better team. At that point, Ivory Coast could barely create. They didn't create any clear-cut chance. They didn't put any sort of danger, any sort of threat to this Egyptian backline. And they got their goal. A bit fortunate, of course, with El Fatou, the free kick, which got deflected. That was their only chance in that first half. And they got their chance, but it was really down to luck. Like, Egypt, for me, in the first half, it ended 2-1. Egypt was the better team. Defensively, they were very secure. They protected the backline. The midfield, they were closing the games, a double teaming whenever Amad Diallo had the ball, whenever Diomande had the ball, and Salah and Marmoush, they kept tracking back, kept defending. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But the second half, you thought, all right, cool, that goal from Ivory Coast, it could kickstart a comeback. It could kickstart a remontada. They could get a second goal, and from there, the game is wide open. But guess what? Guess what? The man which everyone had ruled him out this season. They said that, you know what he's done? He's finished, ma'a salama, Saudi schooling. They said that, listen, he is the reason why Egypt don't win. Carragher said it. Salah, Egypt never won AFCON apparently. But guess what? With an exceptional cross, but the finish by Mohamed, the touch by Mohamed, that's not easy. Especially when you're being pressured by a man behind you. Especially when the pass is a little bit overcooked. Still, and especially when the goalkeeper's approaching, what a finish, what a touch. 3-1 early in the second half, and Egypt get a deserved third goal. And then from there, Ivory Coast started performing way better. They started attacking. They started putting pressure on this Egyptian back line, and they managed to get the goal. Of course, do a 73rd minute. You could argue that might have been a little handball, but still, I think it was a fair decision. 3-2. But that last 15 minutes, the amount of pressure which Ivory Coast put on that Egyptian back line, the amount like I said, I'm not Egyptian, but I felt, I was worried, I was scared. But the resilience, the hunger, the fight for every single one of this backline, from Ibrahim to Rabia, from Hani, even the midfield. Fethi, I think, had a great game. But overall, El Shenawi was amazing. 2 massive saves. Even the one which they scored, the second goal, he made a great save, which, of course, after that, the rebound happened. But that last 15 minutes, the resilience, they managed to close down all the pockets. They managed to make it difficult for Amad Diallo. Diomande, we barely heard of his name. Amad Diallo, I can't remember a single chance which he tried to create or anything. Overall, the last 50 minutes and throughout the whole second half, that's the reason why Egypt went through. If you look at the numbers don't lie. Yes, they had more possession. But in terms of the shots on target, Egypt, for me, felt like the team, if you look at it, they had more clear-cut chances. Yes, they had 13 shots, but it didn't feel like 13. And even the XG comes down to the goal which they scored, which is literally near the goal. But I think this is a deserved win, absolute deserved win, and it remains, the curse still remains there. Ivory Coast hasn't beaten Egypt in the AFCON in recent years. And that takes us, of course, facing Senegal, the revenge of what happened last AFCON, the final. This is the revenge. This is what Mo Salah wanted, and this is what Mo Salah needed. I can't lie, Mo Salah, for me, had a great game as well. Him tracking back, of course, the goal, the GA, we all know about Mo Salah when it comes to goal contribution. But him defensively, he was tracking back. He was fighting for his life. Even Marmoush was tracking back. I love the fact that Trezeguet never came on. If you guys remember the game against South Africa, they made a mistake of taking Marmoush off early, and they kept Trezeguet. Come on, bro. 2026, we've got Trezeguet starting for Egypt. Come on, bro. But the manager spot on with the changes that he made. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And of course, it takes us to this massive game, which I feel like, I can't lie, as much pressure as Senegal is, of course, the most stacked team. I haven't been fully convinced with Senegal throughout this tournament. They had a great win against Mali, but Mali, even with a man down, or even when Basuma got sent off, they still managed to create chances. I do think, and I do feel like Egypt, it feels like they can go all the way through. It just feels like it. It feels like it. Like, beating, for me, Ivory Coast, who, for me, at that point was one of the favorites, of course, defending champions, that is a massive win, especially in Ivory Coast, who's been convincing throughout the whole tournament. But the way they did it, the fashion which they did it, the goals which they scored, the transition, the counter-attack, defensive, very resilience. I do think they can try to with Senegal. Senegal's the same team. They've got the firepower. They've got, of course, Malassar, or whether it's Ndai, or whether there's Sadio Mane, or whether you can put Mbaye off the bench. They've got a stacked team. And even the midfield are as crazy as, but they're missing one person. If you deep it, they're missing, of course, it's not showing right now, but guess who's missing that game? Guess who's missing that game? This man right here, who for me has been one of the most crucial players for Senegal. I'm pretty sure he's missing. I read that he's missing. Either way, I do think Egypt can get something from this game, and I do think they can finally beat Senegal and go to the final. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, but let's see. But listen, put down in the comment section what you guys made of this crazy game. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you with the watch-alongs for both semi-finals. We've got, look at the semi-finals, boys and girls. Look at the semi-finals that we have in store. We've got Senegal against Egypt, Nigeria against Morocco. Wow. We'll see you for these incredible games. See you then. Peace.